Hi guys, I hope everyone had a great weekend and ready to get back in the stock market thing. Zomedica share price is gearing up for potentially a big move, and that big move could see the share price take off way beyond $3 within the next year. And one of the things that could potentially trigger this big move is a short squeeze. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why I believe this is happening. But before I get into the video, make sure you guys subscribe and of course hit that notification bell. And while you're at it, you can get 2 free stocks valued at $1,850. All you have to do is check out my Weibo link in the description box below. With that being said, let's get this bread. So first of all, having a look at the live data for Zomedica. So there's one transaction that came through for $100,000 worth of shares. If you have a look at the data on Finviz, you can see that there's an institutional transaction. So positive institutional transaction, meaning that institutions are buying up shares. So 88% positive. So $100,000 worth of shares are being bought up of Zomedica stock. And of course, this is by an institution. So the thing with institutions is they like to get in early. If they predict a huge move that's going to happen maybe a couple of months, couple of weeks, or even a couple of years down the line, they like to get in early while the price is low. So the fact that they're buying $100,000 worth of Zomedica stock while it's low, this share price is going to take off. And of course, that buyer knows something that's going to happen to Zomedica in the future, or that's already happening to Zomedica at the moment as a company. They already know what's going on, so they're trying to get in early. Also, if we have a look at the short interest, right now there's 72.3 million shares out on loan. So short sellers have borrowed a lot of shares, so 72.3 million shares. And the short float right now is sitting at 7.58%. So looking at the data, the fact that almost 10% of overall the shares float is actually being loaned out to short sellers, and also looking at the fact that $100,000 worth of shares are being bought up by institutions of Zomedica's, or being bought up by one institution. This is crazy because, first of all, the $100,000 worth of shares that are being bought up is going to create a lot of demand, which will of course see the share price of Zomedica take off. And as the share price begins to rise, it will of course trap a lot of short sellers, or even scare them off, because they'll be like, you know what, I'm short selling this, I'm borrowing shares, I'm paying interest on the shares that I've borrowed, and the share price is rising, so it's basically going against me right now. So they'll start to look for shares to of course cover the position, possibly try to get out before they accumulate a lot of loss. And especially looking at the rule change, the NSCC 002, that states that, look, institutions or short sellers are going to get looked at a lot more frequently by the SEC. So basically looking at, if they're short selling, they need to make sure that they have enough capital to cover them if they end up on the wrong side of that trade. So this means that if short sellers basically don't have enough capital to cover their position, they'll effectively get margin called. So with short sellers getting out of the position or getting margin called and effectively still getting out of their position, so they're buying back to cover the position, this will create a lot more demand within the Zomedica share price, and we could potentially see a short squeeze following this. Ultimately, for a stock price to rise over time, the fundamentals of the company have to be solid. So basically, the fundamentals being the customer relations have to be solid. Basically, if the company is keeping the customers happy, and ultimately investors or potential investors will see that, look, the company is in it for the customers, they're there to make the customers happy. So ultimately, by making the customers happy, more customers will be drawn towards them, their services or their products, because as they do that, look, the revenue will increase because more customers will be going towards their products, more customers will be going towards their services, and basically seeing that, look, Zomedica is a good company, they take care of their customers. So another fundamental that I feel is very important to look at or to bear in mind when investing in a company is that look at their products and look at what they're doing with the products. Are people buying their products, etc.? And seeing that Zomedica recently commercialized the product TRUFORMA, and they've already made a sale on it. So there's something I want to show you guys, whether you're a potential investor or you're already invested in Zomedica. So looking at the DEF 14A, so the proxy statement that was filed on June 21st, 2021. So this was basically a notice that was written from Zomedica towards the shareholders. Please find attached your instrument of proxy voting instruction form for use in connection with the annual virtual only meeting of shareholders of the corporation to be held on Friday, July the 30th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Toronto time. So why I pointed you guys to this proxy statement is that, look, if you're invested in Zomedica or you're looking to invest in Zomedica, go ahead, tune into that, because at the end of the day, if you're going to invest in something, you want to know exactly what's going on with it. You want to know the prospects, the future prospects, where their weak points are and where their strengths are as well. So looking at the most recent 10Q of Zomedica, so these are filed quarterly. So as of March 31st, 2021, and December 31st, 2020. So basically they're giving you the figures that compare between one quarter and the next, just to see how the company is performing financially. So the ones I'm interested in are the total assets and the total liabilities. So if I have a look at December 31st, so the total assets came to $66.1 million. And if I have a look at March 31st, 2021, so basically the next quarter, and those total assets jumped up to $280.4 million. That's a huge jump. I mean, that jump can basically not mean anything if the liabilities are also a huge jump. So this is why I like to look at the liabilities. So looking at the total liabilities in 2020, the total liabilities were standing at $3.1 million, and in 2021 the total liabilities decreased down to $2.9 million. It's not much of a decrease, but the fact that the liabilities have decreased, this is a big thing. So fundamentally, what this tells me is that Zomedica as a company, they're off to a very good start in 2021 financially. As long as they keep this up, a lot more investors are going to be taking notice of them. So looking at the chart of Zomedica, the share price has not been doing very well. It's been trading sideways recently, but basically between February and April, it's effectively just been decreasing. Although it's trading sideways, but ultimately you can see it's in a slight uptrend, because there's higher highs and higher lows. From the 21st of May, the price got above the 10-period moving average, tried to stay above it, but the bears brought the price down below it. So technically this was now a downtrend. But looking at it, the bulls are actually looking to break this 10-period moving average. So get this price above the 10-period moving average. If the price gets above the 10-period moving average and stays above it, then we could potentially see a big bullish run up. And looking at where the price currently is, it's actually at a support, a key support. So every time the price has got around this level, it's effectively seeing either a lot of bullish activity or a lot of bearish activity. Basically, a lot of bullish activity trying to keep the price above this support line, and a lot of bearish activity trying to bring the price down below it. So the fact that the price is hanging above it, again, if the price gets above the 10-period moving average, and the 10-period moving average actually coincides with this horizontal support, which basically makes this more of a key zone. If its price stays above this, then I can see the price basically getting towards this resistance at $1.40. If it does get to this resistance, I can see the price breaking it, and effectively the bulls are going to try and get the price up to test $2.90 or roughly $3 resistance. If it breaks this resistance at $2.90 or roughly $3, then I can see the price definitely taken off to the moon. But guys, make sure you do your background research on this. Basically find out as much information about Zomedica as possible, what they're doing as a company. Even tune into that Ask Me Anything that's happening at the end of July. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys subscribe and of course hit that notification bell. And if you're currently in Zomedica or you just like the stock, make sure you guys smash that like button. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on Zomedica as a company and also the stock. Let me know where you think the price is going to go to. If you agree that you believe the price is going to get beyond $3, let me know. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.